Hello, Husker fans. How are we today? Welcome to this special edition of Just My Opinion with Tommy Armstrong. We are so excited to be here. It's going to be a great show. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I have my good friend here, Tommy Armstrong. So, first of all, if you want to join the conversation, all you have to do, download the Twitch app. Then you go to the Twitch app, you create a free account, you follow Sirles71, and you get a free t-shirt over there. First of all, my good friend Cody Green's over there handing them out to my wife and my beautiful son Oliver. So we're super excited about it. If you're in the crowd and you have questions, ask me and Tommy. That's the whole reason why we're here. The whole reason I wanted to create this show was to create an interactive broadcast, something that allows us to have a real conversation, something that you can have a question, I can have a question, and we go back and forth on it. So without further ado, let me introduce Tommy Armstrong, Nebraska legend, 4-year starter, and the Rookie of the Year for the Nebraska Danger, Tommy Armstrong. Tommy, how are we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Can't really complain. Right now, just finished my last year in IFL, but this year I'm looking to a new team. Grand Island actually sold their team, so I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to another year in IFL.
We gotta turn this down a little bit. We're getting a little echo. Sorry about that. Hold on one second. Turn one on. Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Oh. Yeah, that's much better. Sorry about that, guys. We're trying to figure this out. It's brand new. So again, JMO Special here with Hale Varsity. We're really excited to be partnered with Tommy, which is explaining he's with Grand Island Danger, correct?
Yep.
He had a great year last year. So we're just going to keep rolling along here. We're going to talk about the big game. We're trying to do our best game day impression here. Obviously, we've got the mic in front of us, got the awesome crowd behind us here in the Railyard, which is great. So I'm going to have to get a Go Big or Chan eventually, but we're not there yet. So, Tommy, so far through the season, a lot of questions about the offense, Adrian Martinez especially, where they're going, why are they having a little bit of struggles. What have you seen so far from this offense, and what are you looking to see from them on a big stage tomorrow night, prime time, against a team like Ohio State?
Honestly, they're a young team. You got to understand that last year, you had guys like Stanley that was kind of the backbone of the offense, but now you have Adrian, which is the guy that everybody's looking forward to this year has been that backbone. But you got to understand, he's still young. As an offensive group, you just got to understand that these group of guys are going to be together for the next 2-3 years, and they're only going to get better. This year is kind of the true testament of what they have to do this year. And Adrian's doing a great job, but I think that having that youth as a factor of their offensive scheme is going to take time. But they have a little burst of which shows like how well they can play as an offense. And just seeing that as a young group of guys, you got to understand that they can all get better. And one thing that I took from Adrian was he loves his check down. And that's one thing that is going to make him a great quarterback. Is find his check down, find his tight ends. And I think one thing that he's going to grow into is limit the fight for the down. I think it took me about 2-3 years to understand that. But having veteran guys like yourself when I was in college, and then having younger guys having to accept that role as a younger kid, younger grade as everybody else, it made me grow up a little faster. And I think that's what he's going through right now. You got to understand that each and every step that he takes is going to, it's going to lead him to be a better quarterback. I'm telling you right now, like this year is just going to probably be their worst year in the next 2-3 years, just because no matter what, they're going to get better each and every year. So I know Coach Ross got those guys going.
Awesome, guys. Again, if you're in the Railyard or if you're watching from home and you have questions for Tommy and myself, please, we want you guys to ask them. That's what I created this show to be, a live conversation, feel the pulse, feel what Husker Nation is thinking and feeling, and it's something that we want to just continue with. So, Tommy, moving right along here, you played as a young kid. I remember when you came in as a freshman, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, you had a senior offensive line. Kind of that's how it happened with Adrian last year. He had the seniors with Ozigbo, he had the seniors with Stanley Morgan, and he kind of had those Then those figures disappear. I mean, what was that like? What was it where you were the young guy and you could lean on guys, and then all of a sudden you're the guy? People are looking to you for, how do I do this? You are now a sophomore, but you're now looked at as a leader on this team. Has Adrian, do you think he's felt that a little bit? Do you think that might be part of the reason that he's kind of struggling with things? Is he trying to find his role as a leader, or is that something that you just embrace and you kind of just comes naturally?
Honestly, I think it comes from both sides of it. Being young and understanding that you got young guys around you, I think that Adrian's going through that side where he thinks that he has to, do everything in his power to win the game. But he has to understand there's 21 other guys out there on offense and defense that's going to help him. Me as a young guy, I thought that I had to make every play. When in all actuality, you don't have to be that way. For him, I think that if he accepts the role and embraces it, it's just going to sharpen his tools a lot more. And once he understands that you get out there and you do what you have to do, you do your job, and expect the other 11 guys on the field to do their job, the sky's the limit for him. And I think that having those young guys around him right now, molding them into the people that he wants them to be, I think that 2 years from now, he's going to be an amazing quarterback. This team's going to be amazing.
So we had someone in the chat here that's asked, Tommy, can you talk about that injury that you took at OSU a few years ago? Kind of what happened with that, how your psyche was at that point, like what was going through your mind when that injury happened, and like obviously you ran back out, it was great to see you back on that field, but kind of walk us through what that process was like for you, being on a big stage like it was at Ohio State, not being able to help your team.
It was a tough situation, but at the same time, it was protocol. Running down on that side. That may be mine. But running down that sideline, exactly what happened, and it was just a tough situation for me, just having to go through, hospital, concussion protocol, but at the same time, I understand that, it's all about your health at the end of the day, and seeing my team go out there was kind of like, it's a sight to see, definitely when it comes to, those guys as a young team looking at me as one of the leaders on the team and not understanding exactly what I had to go through. They're worried about me more than they're worried about the game. That's why I wanted to get out on the field as quick as I could, but it took a little bit longer than I thought. But once I got out there, you could tell their energy changed, and those guys got out there and they started working their tails off.
All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about College Game Day here for the first time since 2007. And last time College Game Day was here, obviously it didn't fare great for the Huskers. We're hoping to change that, but Ohio State's coming to town. Arguably one of the best teams in college football right now. I mean, I've watched them a lot. I've watched what they've gone through. They got Justin Fields, who is a problem at quarterback. They have J.K. Dobbins, who can rush the football. And on the defensive side, there's NFL talent all over this team. I have said multiple times this week that I think that the Huskers can win this game, but in order for the Huskers to win this game, they have to play the cleanest game possible. They can't turn the ball over. The Huskers are a good football team, don't get me wrong, but they're not a good enough football team to beat Ohio State and themselves. They cannot get in their own way. If this team decides that they want to go out there and turn the ball over 4 times like they did against Illinois, Ohio State's going to make us pay for that. We were a good enough team. We were better than Illinois to turn the turnovers and be able to have our defense bail us out. That's not how it's going to work against a guy like Justin Fields. 13 touchdowns through the air, 5 touchdowns rushing. He will make you pay. So, Tommy, in games like this, when you're looking at it from a quarterback perspective, where you really have to work on managing the game. Being a game manager is extremely important in games like this because you can't have your defense out there that long. Does that change your preparation as a quarterback? Does that change how you approach the game? Or is it very much business as normal and you just kind of have that in the back of your mind?
Honestly, with a team like Ohio State, you got to understand that taking care of the football is the key. Understanding that time management, definitely in this game, you got to keep Justin Fields off the field. They got a lot of talent all over their offense. And defense, they've been doing a great job each and every week. You see our defense improving, getting better. But on the offensive side, we got to make sure make sure that you emphasize that you take care of the football, make sure that you're able to make those 6-7 minute drives down the field and get points out of it and get a few stops. If you can get a few stops here and there, definitely early in the game where you can get a 3 to 7 point lead and make sure that you're able to take care of the football, I think this game is all open for Nebraska and our guys. I think that we just got to take care of the football. We got to make sure that everybody is on the same page. You got to stay mistake-free, play a clean game, like you said, and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, we got We Rock All Night here says Wendell Robinson is a playmaker, and we want to see more of him in the backfield. I'm going to let you talk on that in a second. My fear of when you take a guy like Wendell Robinson, you put him in the backfield, is for us right now, the weak spot on our offense has been our wide receivers. And him and JD Spielman have really been our only two guys that have been very solid in production when it comes to receivers. So I've read a lot about trying to move him back and get him involved in the running back era. But what happens to the receivers when that happens? Who steps up? I worry that JD can't shoulder that load. You actually got to play with JD, right?
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. So what is he like as a guy? I've got to see him as just being around working out as I'm back in the off season. But that dude looks tough as nails. I mean, that dude was over the middle taking hits left and right. Speak a little bit on JD's character and what you've seen him grow from when he was a young guy, when you were an old guy, to where he's stepping into a leadership role now. What have you seen from him through these last 4 years of what he's grown into as not just a player, but as a person and a leader of this football team?
JD's a great guy. When I started off and JD first came in, JD was more of a scout team guy for us, and you could tell he had that it factor where he wanted to do what he could do to better the team. And even if it was on special teams, kickoff return, I think that's where you actually saw where he made his money was, kickoff return, punt return. We had DeMornay, but at the same time, JD was one of those guys that if things happen, we would put him in.
Right.
And I think, like you said before, when you touch bases on how tough he is, he's one of those guys that if you get out there, if he gets a little bit of space, he can make a 4-yard catch into a 50-yard game. But like you said with Robinson, if you put him in a backfield, then you have JD outside. There's more of an issue when it comes to now they're going to play underneath and over the top, double teaming JD, and they're going to make you run the ball. With a team like Ohio State, you got to understand that what they're going to do is they're probably going to play a lot of man, definitely with the talent they have. But you have to establish a run game first, and I think with so many bumps and bruises on this offense right now, we have to establish a run game first. Can't be predictable. We have to open up that playbook. Whatever you have in your set of tools that you want to get out there and do, I think JD, Robinson, everybody that's healthy enough needs to get out there and that JD's going to do an incredible job getting out there making plays, but everybody got to be on that same page.
I have to ask it just because it's been the topic for 4 weeks, and me as an offensive lineman, I can talk to it. You as a quarterback have a whole different perspective. What is it like when you're trying to play shortstop catching snaps? Because we've seen it from Juergens the first week. We thought he fixed it again in the second week, and it reared its ugly head again as we played against Illinois. And I think personally, I know it looks like it throws Adrian off a little bit. In an offense like this, where you're reading guys all the time, sometimes plays you got 2-3 reads. What is it like, and where is your mindset coming out of the huddle when you're worried about the snap? Does it affect you a lot? Is it something you just kind of naturally get used to? But speak on what it means as a quarterback having a perfect snap versus trying to catch them all over the map.
I think the touch bases on that is if you have to worry about the snap as a quarterback, that kind of eliminates your first read right off the bat. If you have to jump for a snap, reach down below to catch a snap, that kind of throws your whole progression of who you're going to throw the ball to, who's your hot route, all that gets screwed up right away. You have to, abort that, look for your second, third to check down right away. And I think Adrian's going through a lot right now with that. Definitely if you have a quick game where you have to get out there and throw the ball really quick, 5-yard hitch or a 5-yard slant, and you have people that don't really understand that if you get a high snap, that kind of throws you off. Now in the back of your head throughout that whole entire game is, okay, I know I have a wide open receiver that's about to, once I snap the ball, I'm going to be able to throw the ball to him. But what people really don't understand is that once you get that high snap or that low snap, that eliminates that first guy. So now you have to go from 2 to 3 to check down, and sometimes it's even 3 to check down. And 3 of the checkdowns already been covered. So now it's like, hey, look, I just got to make sure that we get the snap first. That's why sometimes you have to get a group of guys that, run the ball. When we can't get the snap, sometimes we got to go in the center. And it's a lot of times when you see we have to go in the center. And I had to deal with that sometimes throughout my career. At the same time, it's going to have to take practice. You got a true freshman out there at center. And, he's never been in a spotlight like this, and we're going to see firsthand, how he's going to handle this adversity, because it's going to be a lot of adversity throughout this game. We have the crowd on our side, but at the same time, they have to overcome a lot of things that they're going to be thrown into.
Talk on that a little bit more. The big game under the lights. As a player, we have McGuire, he tweets in here and he says, as a player, does the night game and the lights help amp you, or is it just another game business as usual? It can go both ways. For me, I know I absolutely hated night games. They're my least favorite things of all time. And for me, wake up, 11 o'clock kickoff, play ball, get out. And I think a lot of that is because the more time you have to think, the more time you just think yourself into problems.
Exactly.
So for me, the lights were great. Loved under the lights because the crowd's into it. And you got the student section drunk as hell that's going to yell loudly, which is going to be awesome. But at the same time, as a player, it gives you almost a little bit more added pressure sometimes. Even when you're home. Even when you're home, you feel a little bit of it. But through the first quarters where you kind of have to settle those nerves, and you have to weather the storm even when you're on the road, even when you're at home, because there is that built-up hype to it, especially college game day being here, Ohio State in town. First time really this group of kids has been in this situation. I think it's going to be really, really important for them to make sure they get through that first quarter. And even like you said, the adversity is going to hit. It's going to come. One way or another, it's going to happen. And we finally saw last week this team learned how to win on the road when adversity hit. And as ugly as it was last week, I think that was the biggest learning point for us. So I think that the lights piece is different to it. Tommy, as we're winding down here, what are your expectations for this Husker football team going forward? We got 4 games in, we got 8 games left, we're in the teeth of conference play now. What do you think is a realistic? I've said this team can win 8+ games. I really think that that's a realistic expectation. But at the same time, if they play at the first half they did against Illinois, they can win 5 games. So for me, I'm just curious, as you watch this team, you've been with these guys more than I have on the field. What is a realistic expectation for Husker Nation to expect out of the 2019 Huskers?
Honestly, I like you said, I feel like these guys can at least win 7 games, in my personal opinion. They have the talent. They're just young. And to touch bases on, like you said earlier, under the lights right now, they just got to understand that adversity is going to hit. We touched bases on that, but I think that having a young group of guys that hasn't really played in a spotlight like this, they're going to turn. They're going to.
Oh,
test it.
We lost audio.
Testing.
I don't know what happened here. That's unfortunate.
Looks like battery.
Try and go back on here. Probably not. God damn it. Gosh.
No, we good. We're good.
We're good. All right, well, we'll just finish this out on here since they can't hear us, guys. But what we're trying to figure out is we got a mic issue. That's problems of live TV, I guess. So you can still hear me. Firestarter, you got us. We just lost the mic to the crowd here. But as we were just talking about with the way that this team goes and the way this team rolls, it's really going to run through Adrian with the adversity. As we finish off here for the show, I just want to remind everyone that this is my show. This is my side project. I'm on IR this year. This is something that I wanted to stick my fingers in, try and get an idea of how it's going to go. If you could go on Twitch and follow me at JSirles71, that'd be ideal. That's more for the people behind me because you're already following me if you're here in the channel. If you like the show, if you like everything that's going on, you can make sure that you follow me on my YouTube page at JMO JSirles71. You can look at that. It's been dropped in the chat a few times here. But for the most part, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for coming out. This is the first time we did a live broadcast here in the Railyard. We're minus a few things, but that happens with live TV. Adapt and adjust. It's just like we talked about with the Husker game tomorrow. Adversity will hit. How do you handle that adversity? How do you continue to roll? I want to shout out to my guy, Triple B Screen Printing here. He printed all the shirts off for me for Just My Opinion. Again, if you're watching from home, come down to the Railyard. I'll be here for the next couple hours. Tommy and I are going to be signing autographs, taking pictures here, and I just want to say thank you guys all for coming. Go Big Red. I will be here at game day tomorrow. Tommy, what are you doing for the game?
I'm actually going to be at the tailgates.
Okay.
After that, I'm not sure.
All right. Well, we're going to be around. It's something that we're going to be here game day. You can't beat the atmosphere of game day. You can't. I'm going to be here probably 6 a.m. Because I'm a crazy fan like that. But other than that, I just don't know. Be safe tomorrow, Husker Nation. Make sure that you're safe because it's going to be a wild time. But at the same time, let's make sure that we're loud. We don't have to be the Nebraska nice. That's not something that I think we need for tomorrow. Yes, let's be nice as they leave the field after we whoop that ass. But first of all, let's make them know that when they walk into Memorial Stadium, that it's going to be a long 60 minutes. Oh, okay, we got a mic. It's over there. It's way over there. All right, well, they're winding up here, guys, so we're going to wind down. I just want to say thank you to my guy, Tommy Armstrong, for coming out tonight for the first live broadcast on the Railyard. Hoping to be back next week for the Northwestern game here underneath. And, yep, okay, that's going to be it for us, guys. So, go Big Red. As always, I want to say thank you again for coming. And as always, it's just my opinion.